بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu wa man waluhu has sent us for a great purpose. Every split second is important. Our destination is fixed. The question is, have we fixed ourselves for the real journey, and that is the qabr and akhirat. Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anh used to say, Man dakhala al-qabra bila zadin فَكَأَنَّمَا رَكِبَ الْبَحْرَ بِلَا سَفِينَةٍ. The person who enters his grave without provision of good amal, good deeds, amal salihah, is like a person who is entering the sea, entering the ocean without a boat. You are not going to move anywhere. You will probably drown and die and be consumed by the sharks. So in this journey for akhirat, we should not get caught up by the different means. The zad and the provision is amal, not mal, and not the things of this world. People get caught up in the methods of acquiring wealth. Number 2, the methods of spending it. And number 3, the methods of enjoying it. Different forms. A person to get a degree may spend 20, 30 years of his life, then another 20 or 30 years of his life of spending it, ideal vehicle, ideal house, and then lastly, what's left of his life, how he can enjoy life because he's achieved his targets, and now he needs to enjoy this wealth when he is too old, too grey, too broken, too in a system which cannot come out of. So this world is a place of dreams. It is not a place of reality, and that's why we have to understand Allah has not made this dunya a place of enjoyment and merrymaking. Even if a person does get a fragment or a fraction of it, it will be filled with flaws. How many stomachs do you have that you can eat the various 7-star meals? How much hours can you sleep? What mattresses do you need that you can sleep? It is limited. How much watches, how much clothing, how much shoes can you wear? How many places can you travel? Everything comes with a price, but with limitations and restrictions. Unlike akhirah, which has no restrictions, no limitations, no boundaries. Ml Yusuf rahmatullah alayhi used to say, those who try to fulfill their khaish, their cravings, their yearnings, their aspirations. As a child, what you want to become when you grow up? Does he want to become like a Sahabi? Does he want to become like Abu Bakr and Umar? Does he want to become like the Nabi of Allah? What's his passion? It's all about lust, different obsessions, different crazes. What's the craze of the zamana? What's the frenzy? What's trending? So you say those who try to fulfill their khaish in this world will not be allowed to fulfill it in the akhirat. But those who control their desires in this world will fulfill their desires. They'll fulfill their ambitions. They'll to the last satisfy every passion and desire. They will satiate themselves. Honor is real, honor in the akhirat. Umar radiallahu anh used to say, Izzul dunya bil mal wa izzul akhirah bisalihil a'mal. Maybe you people consider honor in this world because of the wealth which somebody has. That's not real honor. The actual honor is the honor in the akhirat. The actual honor is the one who Allah honors through good deeds and amal salihah. So a person has to make a call. What is my fikr? What is my worry? What is my concern? What do I wake up with What do I sleep with? What makes me restless? Is it the dunya akhirat? Uthman radiallahu anhu used to say, Hammu dunya dhulmatun fil qalb, wa hummul akhirati nurun fil qalb. The worry, the concern, the grief for this world is darkness in the heart. Darkness upon darkness, no matter what wealth, what estate, what real estate, what portfolios you possess, there'll still be a darkness. Parties upon parties, musicians upon musicians, squandering wealth, whether it's on your private jets and your yachts. وَهَمُّ الْآخِرَةِ نُورٌ فِي الْقَلْبِ. A person will have the ground as a mattress, a brick as a pillow, the sky as his roof, and a newspaper as a blanket. Nurun fil qalb. But he has Allah in his heart. He'll be happy. He will have the best of dunya and akhirat. So we need to make a call. What is my hum? What is my worry? What is my grief? What is my concern? What is my anxiety? What motivates me? What moves me? So we need to spend time with the sulaha, the pious friends of Allah, the muttaqi, Allah-fearing ulama, and become students. We need to sit in the company of the mashayikh and the ahlullah. We need to choose an ustad. Any field on earth, if you want to become an expert, it will depend on who your teacher is. If you want to become experts in akhirat, who have we went in front of? Who have we made our sheikh, our ustad? Have we become students? A simple thing like potatoes, a simple thing like growing potatoes requires much effort. It needs skill. It needs training as well. When a person gets the right training, then things will be raining. So this worry and concern, we need to check ourselves to the last detail. It is said about Ibnul Muqaffas rahimahullah that his habit was he used to sit frequently in the shadow of his neighbor's wall, and one day he came to know that his neighbor was in serious debt. So he went, approached his neighbor and told him that, what is the amount you are selling your home for? The amount was told. He gave it to him in hadiyah. He presented this gift to him in hadiyah and said that I've taken benefit from the shade of the tree. I've taken benefit from the shade of the wall. I've taken benefit from your home, but I've not paid for it. This is the recompense. So no need to sell it. That worry that even your neighbor's dunya, forget his deen, imagine what fikr. From east to west, north to south, how every person on earth can get this hidayat and this worry and this concern. A person will be overwhelmed. Ali radiyallahu anhu used to say, Man kana fi talabi al-ilmi kanat al-jannatu fi talabihi. Where we made our ustad. Jannah seeks the person who is in search of knowledge. Jannah seeks the person who seeks knowledge. وَمَنْ كَانَ فِي طَلَبِ الْمَعْصِيَةِ كَانَتِ النَّارُ فِي طَلَبِهِ. And Jahannam searches for the person who searches for guna. Going online, going onto the different websites, swiping, searching, this age, this complexion, this place, this location. Different gunas are being searched for. You search for guna, Jahannam will come and look for you. Search for amal khair. So we need to make sure we are people of akhirah and we do a good job of it. We are here for akhirah. We must make sure we are a good job of it. Don't do a half job. Like an 88-year-old man who married a 17-year-old damsel. They returned from their honeymoon. His friend obviously ambitious to know what transpired. So he gave a report and said, we were intimate almost every night. The 88-year-old man. said we were intimate almost every night. So his friend was shocked and baffled. How did you manage that at the age, your age, you're 88? You hit a home run. So the old man said, we almost got it right on Monday. We almost got it right on Tuesday. We almost got it right on Wednesday. The whole honeymoon, we almost, because his words were, we were almost intimate every night. So half a job is no job. So do things properly. Nowadays the zamana is, even in dunya we don't do it properly, we do it haphazardly. So do things properly. Like a couple on the first day home after the honeymoon, the husband says, if you make the toast and pour the juice, breakfast will be ready. If you make the toast and pour the juice, breakfast will be ready. So the wife told her husband, how thoughtful. What are we having for breakfast? Toast and juice? What are we having for breakfast? Toast and juice? So even the smallest things of dunya we can't get right. Where will we get our deen right? Where will we get qabr right? Where will we get hashr and pul sirat right? So we need to be checking ourselves all the time. The book of Allah, the kalam of Allah is in front of us. Among these ni'am which Allah has favored us is the Qur'an. We need to make sure we fulfill the huquq and the haqq of the Qur'an and doing it properly. So first starts with the intention, the shauq, the desire for benefiting from the Qur'an. Ulama say that part of that would be looking at the names of the Qur'an, looking at the names of the Qur'an, and each name has some ma'ani and asrar. As the saying goes, keep the book so close to your heart that the devil runs far from. Keep the book so close to your heart that the devil runs far from it. The Qur'an must be so close to us, not externally having a lot of nuskhas of the Qur'an, but the love of the Qur'an should be in our hearts. One of the names of the Qur'an is Al-Kitab, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. This is the book. It is a special book which possesses every attribute inevigible, where we cannot even imagine it. It possesses those qualities, for it is perfect, it is complete, and it is the only book on earth ever in the history of this world which possesses these sifat. So Al-Kitab is takhsis and encompassing. It is the book, the only book. It is the book of all books. People are into their novels, some are into their magazines, some are into their WhatsApp chats, their Facebook posts, their Twitter tweets. Who's into the Qur'an? We read everything besides that thing. Which is everything? The kalam of Allah, the book of Allah. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. As a Sheikh Rahimullah used to explain, when you read a book, you fall in love with the author. We are reading every book and we falling in love with the makhluk. When will we fall in love with the Khaliq Rabbul Alameen? So these are such that when you read the Kitab of Allah, the love of Allah will come. And as the Shaykh explains, according to the Musannif, the author, his sifat will transcend and will permeate into you. So if we read the book of Allah, تَخَلَّقُوا بِأَخْلَاقِ اللَّهِ, the sifat of Allah will come in us. We read the books of Batil, then Batil may enter our hearts. Likewise, the mizaj, the mindset of the author becomes your second nature. So when we read in this book, Al-Kitab, make the niyyah that this book is a love letter from Allah. I will enjoy every letter. When you receive a letter from your beloved, how much Does a person have ambition and desire and shauq to slowly read every phrase, every sentence with what shauq, what ambition? So this is the book, this is my book, this is my constitution. It is for my protection and the preservation of my progenies. Not just progeny, progenies. He said about the mother of Ml Ilyas, rahmatullahi alayhi, she was a hafidha. Imagine how much work Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had chosen Mawlana Ilyas rahmatullahi alayhi for this great work of nubuwah, the effort of tabligh and da'wah, of inviting to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Such a great acceptance, so much so that Hazrat Sheikh Muhammed Zakaria in his abet he mentions that my grandmother was a great hafidha. She knew the Quran well, besides doing her household chores, cooking, looking after the children, the different responsibilities. It was a habit to recite one manzil of the Quran every day. And in Ramadan, she used to recite 40 ajza, 40 paras of the Quran. So this kitab, this book is my constitution. No matter how busy I am, I will not be busy for the kalam of Allah. I will not be busy for the book of Allah. This is my book. When a person has reverence for the kalam of Allah, then they will give it priority. It is said about Ml Badre Aalam, rahimahullah. He was a great scholar of hadith and passed away in Madinatul Munawwara, and he was buried in Jannatul Baqi. And it's a routine generally, they bury somebody and then check. So after 6 months they dug his qabr, found his body intact, another 6 months intact, another 6 months intact. And on each occasion his body was at the same time when he was buried without any decomposition. It was as if he had been just buried now. So to such an extent that it has been written that even the shroud, the coffin had not disintegrated. So tahqiq was made, and Maulana Aftab Alam rahimullah, who was his son, explained the reason. He said, my father had a very unique quality. Despite being a great scholar of hadith himself, he would never stretch his feet towards children or any hafiz of the Quran. He used to say, as it is not munasib and appropriate to stretch one's feet directly to the Quran, which is disrespect. In the same light, you should not stretch your feet to the one whose chest bears the Quran. It is probably through the barakah of the niyyah of my father, of this one good deed, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had preserved his body. So it is very important that Al-Kitab, this is the book. We make a niyyah that this is such a book that I will give preference to this book and make it a priority as well. So such a book that from the greatest Allah Rabbul Alameen to the greatest Farishta Jibreel Ruhul Ameen to the greatest Nabi of Allah to the greatest this Ummah kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas, the greatest, the greatest, the greatest. This is how special this book is. The question is, have we made it special? The amal for today is, after making wudu, ma minkum min ahadin yatawadda'u, to make wudu, fayusbighul wudu, not haphazardly, not in a rush, but to make wudu properly with its prerequisites. ثم يقول أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. and to read this dua, وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. So أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Read this dua. إلا فتحت له أبواب الجنة الثمانية يدخل من أيها شاء. All 8 doors of Jannah will open for this person, and you will have an option to enter from whichever door he desires. Riwayat of Muslim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq of understanding, practicing and propagating. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.